In this video, we complete step 40, the read CSV function part 2. Okay, so we ended up last time with a dictionary of the column names mapped to lists of strings. So we're very close to what we want, but we need to convert lists of strings into the correct data type. So if our list is consisting all of, like, say, integers, then we don't want to have a column that is of strings that are integers. We're going to assume that this column should be an integer, not a string. So we're going to try to make this conversion and try to have NumPy do it for us. So the first thing we're going to do is create a new data dictionary like we usually do, and then we're going to iterate through this dictionary that we created from the last step. So we're going to go through every single key value pair. So call is a string and vals is a list of strings. And so what we're going to try to do here is we're going to try to make a conversion. So we're going to go from the strictest conversion to the least strict. So that means that I'm going to try to convert whatever this list of strings into an integer first. If that doesn't work, then I'll try to move up and convert it to a list of strings. And if that doesn't work, I can convert it into, a list of, convert it to floats. And if that doesn't work, I can convert it to, leave it as strings. So just to show you how this would work with NumPy itself. So say we have some sort of list. We'll just call it A and put in some numbers, just so you can see how this would work with NumPy. If I converted this to an array, number one, well, it's going to convert it to Unicode. It's going to keep it as a string, but you can try to give it a particular data type. So if we try to do an integer here, it will actually convert it to an int. So that looks good. So if I do b and do b.dtype, it's converted it to a 64-bit int. Now, so that works. Now, what if I had a decimal in here? So say 4.3, and I try to convert it to an integer. Excuse me, I didn't run that line of code. So NumPy raises a value error and says it can't do that. So in that case, if this doesn't work, then we'll move up to the next most flexible data type, which is a float, and it will make the conversion like that. So we're going to begin by trying to convert the list of strings to an integer. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put vals in here, and we're going to say dtype equals int. So we're going to try to convert it to an integer. So let's do that. So we're going to try to make this conversion. And if it doesn't work, we're going to try something else. Okay, so we're going to try to do this. We're going to say new data of call will be assigned to this. So we're going to try to make this happen. If this doesn't work, we're going to try something else. So we're going to say new data of call is going to equal. We're going to try to make this vals into a float. Okay, so let's go back over here to the Jupyter Notebook. Now, if there's like a string in here, say there's an actual string in here, and I didn't close this off. So let me just say this for now, just so I can have some working code here. So that's all that big pink mess was saying, that there was a bug in my code, and I just didn't close off the try except. All right. So if I try to convert this list of strings into a NumPy array, I'm going to get another value error. So this is where we are going to fall back to the object data type, and it will keep everything as a string. So that's our last ditch effort, is to just say we give up, just keep it as strings. We will not be able to go any further here. So that should work. Now you might be wondering, what about Booleans? So our data frame is capable of having booleans. The problem is that NumPy doesn't do any sort of conversion. You can't even try to. It won't do the conversion if you say dtype equals bool if you have a list of strings. So you'll have to do that manually after you read in the file. So there's not going to be any way to convert booleans as an actual boolean data type. So they'll be read in as just true and false strings, and then from there you can overwrite it with a boolean column. All right, so that looks like it should do it, and we just need to return now our data frame class with new data. Okay, so this is going one by one. It tries to do an integer. If that fails, it tries to do a float. If that fails, then it's going to just fall back to an object. So let's go ahead and read this in now. So let me delete this stuff. So we're up here, and let's read this in. So no errors, and lo and behold, we have our data frame, and we can check the D types to see if it worked out. So string, 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 and then salary got read in as an integer. So everything is looking good there. Okay. Last thing is the test. Last test is read CSV. So it's an entire class. So read test, read CSV, and there were 4 tests in there, and they all passed. All right, so that was the very last thing. So now you can read in simple CSV files with this code, with the read CSV function. Okay, so let's make sure that we actually can pass all the tests. So if you just type in PyTest by itself, you'll be able to run all the tests, and there's 96 and they all passed. All right, good. So we got 100%. Okay, all right. So this actually completes this sort of, you've checked off all the tests, and we've completed every single one of them, all 96 of them, all 40 steps. I'm going to have one more video coming up next that's going to sort of wrap this up and conclude the project. Hopefully it was a lot of fun building your own data analysis library from scratch, and so that this completes step number 40.